Hi. Anyways, I want to go over a topic that is really, really sensitive to me and is something that I did think about quite a bit. And that's, does a narcissist even know what they're doing? Because when you think about the cycle and how they are, you start wondering, do they know what they're doing? Do they really understand what they're doing, or are they just a flat out liar? And at least in my case, and again, this is only about my case, everyone is different. Every narcissist is at a different level, different degree, different trauma growing up. So not all narcissists are going to be identical. So all I can do is share my story. I cannot share everyone's story, and every narcissist is not the same. So I don't want you to think that that's the case, okay? But yes, I've learned that they do know what they're doing, and they are grooming you and to gain control. It's very calculated, and it's like a game. Like, they want to know how quickly they can gain control over you. How are your barriers? How strong is your wall around you, and how can they get over it as quickly as possible? Because you have something they want to offer, something they want to drain, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally, it doesn't matter. You have something to offer. And in my case, I have a really good job. I own my own house. I run my own business. You know, I've done well for myself. Doesn't mean I had it easy. I can go into that different story. But he knew, and he knew that I was very empathetic. I did a lot for my community. I just love helping people, and he knew that. And I have a business degree. Yes, I have a master's in business. So when he was ready to open his business, do you know who his biggest cheerleader was? I was. Paid for his advertising, worked on his business plan, even did all the advertising and getting his business going so he was booked every single weekend. That was me. I did all of that. I put the money and the time into it. But he knew that's what he needed to get control, to get in a better spot. And he lied, and he acts innocent. When I call him out on some of his stuff, because I've gotten to the point where I'll just call you out, or I won't say anything at all, which means that's silent treatment, which means you don't know what I'm thinking or what I'm doing next. And I like doing that too, because then he doesn't know. Like right now, he's in dead silence because he doesn't know what my next move is, but he knows I'm up to something. So he has his friends trying to spy on me. It looks like they're trying to tap into some of my accounts, and I had to get them blocked or set up some password authenticity so that way he can't get in to find out what is really going on in my life, because it's none of his business anymore. But they will act innocent, they will lie, and they will do everything they can to manipulate you. At least in my case, that's what he did. And he was really, really good at it. He knew what I had been through. He knew my family trauma. He knew what was going on with my family. He asked a lot of questions, and actually, initially, I thought he cared. But he's not one. He would get mad when I sent out Christmas cards. So I knew there was something up. Okay. Now you will see, at least in my case, my narcissist had two sides. So there was the one that he had outside for his friends and family. How he was sweet and innocent and caring, and how much he did. So it was a mask. He wanted people to know what he needed them so that way he can take advantage and eventually manipulate them, because they see what they wanted to see, which is a sweet, caring, innocent guy. And he was. That's what got me suckered in, right? But on the inside, you're going to see the other side, the liar, the cheater, the manipulator, the one that goes into rage fits. Maybe they'll give you the silent treatment. I got a lot of that even now. Invalidating my opinion, telling me that I can't listen to you, I can't talk to you, you're stupid, you're so broken, you should just die. Even stonewalling you. That's what I went through. I went through 7 years of this. And it wasn't all the time. I don't want you to think, well, why didn't you leave? One, it's not really easy. Two, the love bombing. They know so much that, I'm in a position where I wouldn't want this to come out publicly. So I wouldn't want him to give my story. So I've decided to go head on and just give my story, my side. And so these are the things that the people don't see. This is what his friends and his family don't see. They don't see the other side. They don't see the bruises that you have to hide, whether they're emotionally, whether they're physically. They don't see that, and they don't have to deal with it. I did, right? You will see that they will bounce. Like, we're almost 50. I'm not going to lie. He's a year away from 50. And he's never been in a long-term relationship. Really. And that should have been another red flag for me. But again, when they talk about it, they're going to make it seem like, oh, that's their fault, the other person's fault, or that person cheated on me, is what he told me. He was with somebody for like 4 or 5 years, and he's like, oh, she cheated on me. So we'll call Michelle, as we'll call her. Actually, there's a couple Michelles, so all of them then. Cheated on him. And that was his story to me. I'm like, that sucks because you know what? I've been cheated on. I know how it feels. In fact, he did it because he's always looking for that new narcissist, that new supply. Um, and they will make you feel like they own you. And he did. He would tell me, how I looked, make compliments about my hair, make compliments about my clothing, what I could and couldn't wear. Um, and initially it wasn't like bad, but eventually it got kind of aggressive. Like, you went outside wearing that? I'm like, I didn't even leave my house. I went outside my room, big deal. Or I had a jacket on over my shirt. Like, it was crazy. Like, he just went off the wall. Like, he owned me. Like, he goes, well, no girl, any girl I'm with doesn't go out in public looking like that. You always have to have your hair and makeup done. And you have to always, be dressed like this or that. You can't wear these kind of clothes. And you can't wear something too tight or something too low, something too this and that. And for the most part, I don't. I'm very conservative. A little older in age now, so I don't dress, like I did in my 20s. But, it is what it is. But he did everything he could to devour, crush, and manipulate me. And to be honest, most narcissists, what I'm learning, don't care. They don't have the understanding. They don't have the empathy. So in most cases, a lot of times they didn't. Maybe their parents, in my case, his parent was on drugs. His parents abused. He had to be the man at a young age. So he never learned to be empathetic, show feelings. It's okay that they hurt you. It's okay that you're sad, that you had a bad day. No, his parents told him, you know what, suck it up and be a man. And here's a 6-year-old trying to suck it up and be a man. Well, whoever guardian in his life is out, strung out on drugs or out with some man or, whatever the case was. Obviously, whatever trauma he went through in his life is between him and his life. Not for the public to get into, but some of that is him sucking it up and being a man at a young age for whatever reasons that he had in his home life. And now he's a narcissist because he never learned that empathy, how to feel, hey, you know what, someone died, and you know what, we're going to get over it, and we're going to grieve, and it's okay to be sad. He didn't have that. He never really, probably even felt love, probably doesn't even know what love is, because he probably never felt it himself. I mean, he may say it. I've heard him tell these little side pieces after, a week or two that he loves them. But I think that's because he wants to get it, whatever he wants, whether he wants to bounce, as he calls it, whether he wants to just get in their pants, whatever it is. So he's very manipulative with his words as well, because that's what he wanted. Even now, I care about you. Right? Then if you did, you would have been loyal and companion, and you would have been compassionate, and you would have been understanding, and you would have treated me the way I needed to be treated, like your queen, if you wanted me to treat you like your king. I treated you like my king, and instead you treated me like a pheasant. You treated me worse than you treat the own dog and the cat that I have in my house. So I'm good. But if you dare to question them, be prepared. They're going to come after you, and they know your buttons because they asked you, especially early on in the love bombing. They asked you. He asked me, what I went through, what I like, what I don't like. And you will see a lot of what they say. It's going to be a repeat of how they feel about themselves or stuff that you told them in confidence, just sharing as an adult. Like, hey, you know what? I went through this as a kid. And you know what? He's now going to use, so this is about your dad abandoning you. Oh, this is about your mother on drugs. Oh, this is about, yeah. Oh, this is about your kid's dad cheating on you. Oh, this is about, yeah. And that's exactly what it went through. They make it all not about what he did. It's not about him cheating on me or him going into a rage fit or him giving me the silent treatment. It's because of me. It's my drama, apparently, why he treated this way. There's no accountability. He feels he's entitled to tell you what he feels. It's okay for him to tell you exactly how he felt, and he did. So if he was mad or disappointed, and it could be even work related, he didn't care. I felt with it. I had to deal with it. He felt he was entitled, and he was entitled to me whenever he wanted me, and there was no accountability. But he planned in advance, so I don't think he ever loved me. I honestly don't. He might have said he cared, but I honestly don't think he did. He had no empathy whatsoever. And he easily discarded me when someone else came along. When he met someone, he got attention from the girl at Quick Stop, from his workplace. He was all over that in a hot second. Let me tell you, he was going to Circle K 2-3 times a day. And I'm like, dude, you don't even drink soda. You don't play lottery. You don't drink, smoke, or eat hot dogs. So I don't know what you're at Circle K for. You don't even use that kind of gas. You only use Chevron gas in your car. So, it was his way of drawing in his new supply, getting the attention. And I would know because I would see the way he dressed. I knew what was up. And financially, they'll grow their nest egg and just suck on you and use your money. And that's what he did. He grew a nest egg. When I met him, he only had a little bit of money. He used it to buy a second car after a car accident. And now he's pretty much living off of me. He hasn't paid any rent, mortgage, nothing. And I really haven't asked him because initially I thought he was my companion. So he was helping me with other things. But what he wanted someone to help him grow his business. Because I have a master's degree in business and I'm really good at what I do. I easily grew his business within weeks. He had appointments every week. He had a business plan. He had flyers. He had marketing. He had all his social media up on the business. And then he was fully aware of what he was doing. He knew how to manipulate me to help him with his business. And he gave me tons of excuses as to why he needed my help. Like, oh, I need to have a second job because I don't have the money. I'm having, overdraft fees or my cars are broken. And then the other day, he even said that, or a few weeks, obviously months ago, he says, I need to get my car lowered and I need new rims. So I really need to get my business going again. You kidding me? You're having me work my tush off on not only do I work full time and I take care of the house and all the bills, you now want me to help you get your car fixed up, even though, why don't you help me with some of the bills around here? Like, hey, what's $50 on the electric bill when you're sitting here watching TV all night, right? So what I'm prepared for is the next stage is the hoovering, which I know he's been working on slowly. As I told him to leave almost 30 days ago. And that's going to be him trying to get me back. And he's going to be very calculated as he has been over the last 29 days, right? Since I caught him. And he lied and I said I was done. Like I told you I was done before. Like, I don't need this. I'm too old. I'm too mature. I'm educated. My boundaries are up. I told you last time. You do this again. You do this. I had a list. You do any of these things. That's it. Bye-bye. So that's where we're at. Bye-bye. Told him. So I told him I wasn't going to get him back. So I know he's trying because last week he was bringing me food, made this beautiful hamburger. Don't tell me, I am not going to lie. And I'm sure he told his friend, look at this bacon cheeseburger I made. Look at this, turkey bacon and this melted, I think it was Monster cheese and, the grilled buns. And I mean, it was better than, the local fast food places that we have around here. But I think that's his way to sucker me back. He even asked me, do I want to go grocery shopping with him? What? We haven't gone grocery shopping since we got caught by your side piece a few weeks ago. No, I'm going to pass. And he's going to push the lines. And I have to be strong enough to know that this is his way of trying to manipulate me back. And this is his way to try to get me back. And I know he's very calculated at it. I know he did that last time. He specifically left things in my house so that way he had a reason to contact me. This time I'm doing a restraining order. Just to try to make clear boundaries. You know what? I told you in writing, this is what I expected from you. I wanted a companion. I wanted loyalty. I wanted a friend. I wanted a best friend. Someone I can grow old with. And clearly it's not you because you made that clear when you cheated. I told you that was a no-no. That breaks my loyalty, my trust, my respect, everything. You broke everything by one decision that he knew he was doing. It wasn't like it just popped and this woman was just suddenly there and the condom just magically appeared. He had to make that calculated decision to go to Walmart. He had to make that calculated decision to either invite her to his work or go to her house. He had to make those calculated decisions. So he knew what he was doing. And he had to specifically put 2 alarms on his car. He had to specifically put 2 ways of getting into his cell phone. Like, his, I think it's his ear and his finger, one of his fingers is not his thumb. I think it's his finger. And certain things he had to do to protect it, right? And so those were calculated. And he knew exactly what he was doing. And so now he knows what the consequences are, but he's trying to get out of it. And in life, we all have consequences for our actions. And I just don't think that this narcissist expect consequences. And his friends are trying to cover him and lie for him and tell him, oh, guess what she's doing? Oh, guess what she's doing? I it doesn't matter because we're not together. He made that decision of not being together when he found someone else. So I have to be strong just like you have to be strong. I got this. Yes, they know what they're doing. Yes, they're calculating their next move. And please watch your back because they will come back to draw whatever else they can from you. And he's been a leech sitting on my couch for 2-3 years now. And I'm done. Like, this is done. Like, done. I can't deal with this anymore. I can't. He knew what he was doing. I put it in writing. This is what I expected. So there's no reasons. Like, I did what I could. And I'm done. So just keep that in mind. They know exactly what they're doing. He knew exactly what he was doing when he made those decisions. When he put a second alarm on his car. When he bought a second phone with a second alarm. When he bought a second iPad with yet a, like, 5-digit fingerprint, zip code, face recognition type screen unlock. Or when he showers with his phone locked in his glove box with a second key. He knows what he's doing. Like, he's not stupid. I know exactly what he's doing, just like he does. He's very calculated because he knows that he did something wrong. So just watch and be observant. They will snitch on themselves just in their own behavior. Just because they are guilty. They won't admit it. Maybe they even want to be caught in some cases. I think mine wanted to be caught. I think he was tired of just lying and trying to manipulate me. And I think he wanted to see what else he can get. And if I was going to bend over for him, and I'm not going to try to get him back. I learned that the first time when I felt bad for kicking him out. But this time, I don't. But I just want you guys to remember, they know what they're doing. Stay alert, stay aware, and get to know what you're doing. And don't let them manipulate you anymore.